And showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. Look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I am executive editor of the ChannelPro Network. I am also one of your co-hosts on this program. I am pleased to be seated side by side with my co-host, Eric Simpson, a business transformation and improvement consultant for MSPs and other IT providers. Eric, tell the folks what this fancy room we're in is.
Well, we are in sunny Southern California, Irvine, California, at the first quarterly SMB Tech Fest event run by Dave Seibert.
And we're getting towards midday here, but very full room up there. A lot of really interesting content on stage. So yeah, very good conference. I definitely try to make it down here for at least one or two of these quarterly events every year.
And this is the second event that Dave's had in these wonderful new digs down here off of Scientific Drive in Irvine.
Yeah, no, it's a nice place. Mm-hmm. So great show. SMB Tech Fest is what it's called. I believe the website is smbtechfest.com. Check it out if you're interested. As we say, they do it 4 times a year. Well, let's dive into this week's news, and it concerns some information that broke yesterday as we recorded this, involving a series of vulnerabilities in the ConnectWise control event program. That is the system that they provide for remoting into customer environments. An organization called Bishop Fox, which is a cybersecurity company, they found 8 vulnerabilities in that product, ranging in severity. There was one that was a really high severity problem that could potentially allow somebody to take over the product and do all sorts of evil things in a customer environment. Clearly, we're not going to spend time on the 5-minute roundup getting into the technical details there. And I'll say something else as well. This will not be by any means the last time that we talk about the fact that MSPs and vendors who serve MSPs are squarely in the crosshairs of attackers right now. This is a big issue. It's an ongoing issue, and I guarantee you it will come up again on this program and other things that we do at ChannelPro on a regular basis. This will probably be, though, the last time on this show that we talk about a specific vulnerability or hack, something of that nature. And the only reason I say that, because it's going to be happening a lot, folks. What is significant about the news this week to me is basically that it's really just the latest in a string of incidents. And ConnectWise, you know, they're the ones who are getting talked about this week. It's happened to all the other vendors as well. It's going to keep happening, basically. And you know, I've met with a lot of the chief information security officers at these companies. I know these companies take security very, very seriously. I think we're at a point now, though, Eric, where what really needs to happen now before we have fewer of these incidents going forward is these companies need to go from taking security seriously and making it a priority to making it the priority, the #1 priority. I think back to what Microsoft went through when the thing that they really cared about was, you know, adding new features to their products, getting products out the door, and then they became a security target, realized that could potentially sink the company, and they launched the Trustworthy Computing Initiative. They really got much, much better about security. And again, I think companies like ConnectWise take security very, very seriously now. I think they're going to have to step it up, though, before we stop seeing incidents like the one reported this week.
And I agree 100%, Rich. I mean, you know, it's one thing to rely on partners and internal testing to try to make sure that we're addressing any vulnerabilities or loopholes, but you know, the next level of that really becomes enlisting the aid of outside security specialists to, you know, do some testing and be completely open and objective about these evaluations and working with them. Not to say that ConnectWise or anyone, you know, doesn't take security seriously and doesn't have a team or staff of really smart folks, but you know what I think what I'm tracking is a lot of these vulnerabilities are being discovered by these third-party experts anyway. So, you know, in your scenario, well, hey, let's engage these folks from the get-go and let's partner with them and really have them, you know, help us identify anything that may be that may open ourselves up for some type of vulnerability and then and address it. The worst thing I know that any of these vendors want to hear is that some, security company has found a vulnerability in their product. Now, in this particular situation, I know that ConnectWise has been working to address these issues, and so, that's great. But again, to your point, it's got to be security first and not kind of, take a second or a third priority. And not that anyone is specifically thinking otherwise, but bringing in folks that do this for a living and bringing them in early in the process is, I think, a different approach. And I think that some of the larger organizations that have been serving partners for many, many years, like Microsoft, as you mentioned, really started promoting that, in all of their products and services. I mean, that'd be great for these vendors that serve our community to state that right away, security first, and to try to overcome this, because I mean, it's got to have an impact on partners and create, FUD in the channel when these types of things happen. And as you said, who's next? Because we're being attacked, and these cyber criminals find it easier to see these vendors that serve MSPs as kind of the hub in the spoke of the wheel, if you think about it, right? So the spokes then are all the different customers. So in one fell swoop, gaining access that way. So it's a big problem. And I think this year we'll start seeing a lot of change in behavior and messaging from the vendors, because we have to respond to it.
And, I will say that what we're talking about here in terms of what we would like to see from the vendors, that's part of the solution. It's worth noting that behind the scenes, this doesn't get publicized a lot, but companies like ConnectWise and Kaseya and Datto and others are actually collaborating with each other behind the scenes, sharing threat information. That's a part of the answer to this phenomenon or problem as well. And so are you. If you are watching this and you are an MSP, you have responsibilities as well in terms of enabling 2FA on the product you're using. Practicing the cyber hygiene that you're probably teaching your end users. You are under attack, and so it's everyone's responsibility basically to do the best that we can to kind of mitigate this threat. But Eric, here we are, and it seems like just yesterday we were celebrating Happy New Year. It's getting on towards the end of January, and that has something to do with your tip of the week.
Absolutely. So time waits for no one, Rich, and I look at my schedule already and I think, holy cow, January is gone and I still have a bunch of activities to schedule for the rest of the year. So I'm going to turn that same lens towards our responsibility as MSPs that own the strategic relationship with our customers to say, team, if you haven't already, it's time to start scheduling your QBRs with your A and B clients. I mean, don't let this become an afterthought. Don't prioritize it too low. This is the opportunity for you to start outreach to your clients and scheduling those all-important QBRs that can fill the top of your funnel quarter over quarter this year, and also reinforce the value from a strategic perspective that you bring to your clients. So it's really, really important for you to reach out and schedule these and embody that trusted advisor image and strategic business partner image that really is the value proposition of your relationship with your clients. Because let's face it, right, between you and me, okay, anybody can close service tickets. Anybody can, build servers, okay? It's that strategic value that you bring when you're road mapping with your client over 3-year period. I want you to start thinking in 3-year terms, because that's going to help ensure that your clients stay with you over time when you're actually road mapping that far into the future and aligning these recommendations with the business owner's goals for growth, security, and all these other things. Oh, and by the way, it also helps to talk with the clients that you need to update their service agreements with them. Maybe you're getting hammered and you're not as profitable with these agreements. Well, guess what? When you have that close strategic relationship with your clients and you're having these QBRs with them, you have a much easier road to convince them to pay you more for the service you're delivering, or bring more services to them and have them sign a new agreement for them, such as security. So get after it, build out that calendar, schedule those appointments with your clients now so that you are prioritizing that highly, because life gets in the way, and we're putting out fires every single month. Let's make sure that those relationships with our clients are solid, and we're delivering that strategic value that we promised them when we signed them up.
Right, and so the key thing there is not only doing quarterly business reviews, and I think a very large percentage of MSPs do that with their customers. At least I hope they do. But it's not just sort of having that intention and knowing you're going to do it, but actually getting it on the calendar now. This is that time of year when a lot of people are in planning cycles. It's true of MSPs, it's true of their customers. And as Eric was saying before, time creeps by basically. So it may even be a week or so past time to be actually putting this down on the calendar and getting that going. And like Eric said, getting the stuff into the sales funnel that'll come out of that. Never too soon to get that underway.
Yeah, claim your piece of that budget for the year before it goes somewhere else for your clients.
Well, we have got time for just one more story this week. If you are a regular viewer of the 5-Minute Roundup, there's a bit of a recurring theme that Eric and I come back to on a fairly regular basis. We both travel quite a bit, which means we both fly quite a bit, which means we're both familiar with all these stories that you probably see in the media now and again about somebody making some ridiculous claim about what is a service animal, a comfort animal to them. We've talked about peacocks, what else?
Oh, peacocks, reptiles, every variety of domesticated, dog or cat, what have you. Snakes, you name it. People, I've seen some odd things, and I mean, not just little dogs. I was on a flight, I think in December, where, there was this giant, save me from the avalanche dog that was a, emotional support animal or whatever, and they were getting on a plane. I don't know where they put these animals, Rich. I don't know where they put them.
Well, we found out just recently that somebody has actually taken this trend to a whole new level, and I don't know whether to applaud this gentleman or what, but somebody attempted to register beer as a service animal. There's actually a registration system and process you have to go through to get this done. Somebody, he registered beer. I need my comfort beer when I'm flying. Now, this was done by somebody who refers to himself as a experiential marketer. His name is Floyd Hayes. He's from Brooklyn. He didn't get very far, apparently, with the authorities who maintain this registry, which is shocking and unfortunate, I suppose, for him. But you know what? We've reached a new peak, a new high. The bar has been set, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of service animal craziness. What you want to clear is beer as your service animal.
And you know what? I do know where I put that service animal. What are you having today, Floyd?
That, ladies and gentlemen, is all the time we have this week for the 5-Minute Roundup. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back again next week with another episode. If you like the show, you'd like to take a look at maybe some past episodes you haven't seen, keep up with the new episodes as they become available, what you want to do is go to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube and subscribe there. Also, make sure you click the little bell there if you want to get notifications when new episodes go up. Please go to ChannelProNetwork.com if you want to read more about this wave of attacks against MSPs and MSP vendors, get business growth strategies for your company, all sorts of other good information going up there daily on ChannelProNetwork.com. To learn more about Eric and the work that he does with his clients, the place to go is ErickSimpson.com. That is ERICK Simpson.com. So once again, in about a week, we will be here with you again on the 5-Minute Roundup. Until then, please enjoy the rest of your week. Eric and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.